ESPN Cleveland. Excited to be with everybody after the chaotic weekend of not only high school football, a lot of stuff going on in high school football, which we're going to hit on a little bit later today. Of course, we're going to have Chris Brown, head football coach of the Cleveland Blue Raiders, on with us around 5:45 today. But also, everything that went on in college football over the weekend, so many upsets. And we talked about it. There's a lot of potential for upsets, and one of them we thought was going to be the Tennessee Volunteers. And when I say we, I'm going to exclude Jacob. Bulldog proud today, Jacob Mason, with his red Georgia Bulldog jersey on. Just came in here with the biggest smile on his face. But Jim and I both felt like Tennessee had a really good shot at winning this game, and ultimately, we were both pretty correct with that.
Listen,
just didn't happen.
When Gilbert lined up for the field goal, I mean, I was so confident he was going to make it. You know, I said, well, I'm going to watch this Tennessee crowd. They're going to rush the field and tear down the goalposts and all that good stuff. And then, of course, he hit it. It wasn't even, he missed it. As soon as he hit it, you knew it was wrong. He was wide to the right. And when he missed it and they were going to overtime, I thought, Georgia's going to win this game.
Yeah.
Georgia's going to win the game. I mean, I think everyone in that stadium, for the most part, sensed it or felt it.
If you're going to come at the king, you better not miss, especially wide right.
And he missed it wide right.
Sure did.
Of course, Tennessee had to settle for a field goal on their first possession in overtime. And Georgia, of that first down play, when it was first and goal on their second play, and you knew it was just a matter of time. And, he breaks the plane, and they win the game, and next thing you know, Georgia's sitting there 3-0, and Tennessee sitting there 2-1. Heartbreaking loss for the Vols, no question.
Honest to goodness, it was an all-timer.
It was.
It's going to go down in the lore of this rivalry. I say renewed. In my lifetime, it's always been a rivalry, but it's really only been played since
32 straight years now.
32 straight years.
Yeah.
So
it's a pretty good while.
That's pretty good while.
In these 32 years, that's one of the top ones that I can remember. Honestly, if you're a Tennessee fan, Saturday is what 2016 felt like for me. Like, that's the best way I know how to describe it. How you guys were sitting in your seat when he missed that kick, and then we go on to win in overtime, is Juwan Jennings catching that ball in the end zone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's the Georgia Bulldog version.
Yeah.
Yeah. And listen, one thing that I'll say is that Tennessee has every opportunity from this point forward to not let that game be the story of the season. They showed that they can play with a big dog, because I still think the Georgia Bulldogs, when you talk about college football, obviously I've got Ohio State up here a little bit higher, but Georgia right there, right on the heels of the Buckeyes, and they're kind of the standard within the conference. It's not Texas. Everyone thought it was going to be Texas.
And I think Georgia's better than LSU too.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tennessee has an opportunity to go on a little bit of a run here, win some ball games, get geared up for that Bama game like they've done a couple times here in the past few years. But same thing with Georgia. You've got Alabama coming up. You got a bye week. You've got, I believe it's at Sanford Stadium in Athens. That's a game you can't be super hyped that you went up to Knoxville and won, because you've got a team that has heard a lot of chattering going on about how they're not any good, their coach isn't any good. We've said it here on the show a little bit. I've thrown some shade at Alabama, and they've not played anyone to really test them, but that's going to be a huge game for Georgia next week and then Tennessee. So what that narrative could do is quickly put Alabama back in elite status if they're able to win those two games, but that's another story for another day when it comes to the Crimson Tide. But yeah, I tell you what, I wanted to ask your opinion on this and kind of like what it felt like in the stadium. As soon as Tennessee missed that field goal, which we're going to dive into this more. I have a whole opinion about how they set that up. It just felt
very conservative.
It felt full of stress and, as you said, conservative. Mm-hmm. It just seemed like they botched the way they handled that last drive when they've got a guy like Deshaun Bishop who could have got 5, 6, 7, 8 yards to make that field goal just a little bit shorter. We saw him all game doing that. Again, we'll dive into that in a little bit. But what was the atmosphere? I don't know what your angle was in the stadium, Jacob, but whenever you saw the referee signal no good, what was going through your mind?
Yeah, I had a good angle, so I was in the opposite corner, so I could see the goalpost, and I could see as soon as the ball left his foot, it was going right. I'll be honest though, my eyes initially were to the Georgia defensive line. I wanted to see if hands could get up. We've got a big 6'10" guy that's out there trying to block it, all those kind of things. But then I looked up and the ball started sailing right. Half of the stadium thought it went in.
Oh yeah, I saw.
If you were on the sides and you didn't have a good view, it looked like so. I guess everybody just kind of thought he was going to make it, so it was loud, and then it was not, and it just went silent. And then you could see a lot of the Tennessee fans around me. They said that was it. Like we've lost this game. We're not going into overtime and beating Georgia. And I'll be honest with you, I felt as soon as they missed it, I said it's over.
You felt the momentum shift.
They hurt us from 40, 50 yards out. When you put them in a 25-yard box with that Georgia defense, it's hard.
I thought the exact same thing.
It's hard to do something. And so they come out there. First pass I think was tipped. Then they tried to run. And, he backs up and he kicks one and puts one right down the middle. But then very eerie to the overtime.
Against Oklahoma. I thought the same thing.
They get off the edge and, people talk about my biggest thing is I hate when people go back and say this penalty or that penalty. Like there's a face mask on that run. They could have put us on the 1 yard line. Like just on the second play.
So many times throughout the entire course of a ball game, you can go back and find things.
You can find those things. At the end of the day, the game is played. Things happen. They're either called or they're not. And Georgia line, it was kind of anticlimactic just because it had to be under review.
No, I hated the way that happened.
We all thought that,
and it was clear that he had scored. That was the thing that got me.
Well, they didn't want that's one of those that you're just going to let film make sure because you're on the road and Tennessee had the chance to do it. They had the chance to slay that kind of dragon that's been hanging over them for a while and. They got conservative, and my biggest thing is when you are facing a team that you have not beaten in 8 years, you cannot get conservative.
You can't.
You've got to go for the jugular, and you've got to go for the knockout blow.
And the fact that they started off so hot, and we've got a clip. I want you to play this clip. When Tennessee went up, Chris Brazzell caught that second quarter touchdown, and they went up 21-7. I thought. Tennessee's rocking and rolling. Play that clip if you would.
3:49 and counting in the first quarter. Ball started this drive at their own 17. Aguilar, play fake, looking, firing toward the end zone. Touchdown! Big Orange! Who else? Chris Brazzell, the touchdown maker, finding his way into the end zone for the fourth time in the last 2 weeks.
And that was the second touchdown for him. He scored another one later on as well. But
that was the 72-yard jump ball touchdown on that one.
When they went up 21-7, I was like, well, they've already hit that magic 21 mark, I'm like, this is different. This game's going to be different. And honestly, really, truly, and I know you said you never felt like Georgia was in trouble until at the very end. I thought Georgia was in trouble right then.
I've just watched enough Georgia games to know that there's adjustments and that they're coming. And so they jump out into that 21-0 lead, right? In that 21-0 lead, the first 14 passes, he was 14 for 14, 100%, 213 yards, 15 yards per attempt with two DDs.
You're talking about Aguilar.
Yeah, Aguilar.
The rest of the game, he went 10 for 22 for 45%, 158, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
That's called Kirby Smart's defense adjustments. They threw out some new stuff that I don't think Kirby was really ready for. The tempo, honestly, the most impressive thing is they're back to the tempo thing. Mm-hmm. And when you're playing a young defense, very talented, but a young defense, they exposed a lot of areas where Georgia could get better.
And I do want to say this: I believe it was the second interception that Aguilar threw. I believe it was Staley who slipped in his route, 100% on the receiver. 100% on the receiver right there. And now, I do agree, Georgia played a much better defense. And you mentioned it a minute ago about when you shorten the field for Georgia, they play hard-nosed football defensively. It's going to be hard to move the football. Where they beat you was on a Brazzell 72-yard deep ball that kind of just fell into his arms. But talk about two guys that are on the same page, Brazzell and Joey Aguilar. Yep. As that game went on, they looked pretty solid.
Yeah, we've got another clip, so we'll play the third touchdown from Brazel.
Tennessee offense showing signs of life. 2nd and 6. Play fake. Aguilar throwing deep downfield. And the pass is caught by Brazel at the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown! Big Orange! He climbed the ladder! He took it away from the defensive back. And Tennessee, amazingly, is just a PAT away from retaking the lead.
Yeah, that was after Georgia had scored 20 consecutive points, like you talked about, to go up 27-21. Of course, that touchdown made it 28-27 Tennessee. At that point, you thought, okay, this game's going to be last team that has the ball is going to win this game. That's how I felt at that point. But man, just that game's had so many ebbs and flows. You had a lot of momentum on Tennessee's side. Then you had a lot of momentum on Georgia's side. And then it kind of shifted back to Tennessee. Then it kind of went back and forth for the duration of that game. And then the 4th and 6th touchdown pass that Georgia completed, got to 2-point conversion to tie it up. That was it was a really good throw. It was an even better catch.
I put more of an
Tremendous catch.
I put more of an emphasis on that in Tennessee allowing Georgia to score and tie the game up more than I do on the missed field goal. There's more of an emphasis for me on that drive. You have a great – listen, Josh Joseph went and got you the football. Went and strip sacked Gunnar Stockton, and that ended up leading to a field goal that made it 38-30 Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
From that point is where you saw Tennessee. You said it, Jacob. They started being a little conservative. They slowed down. Georgia puts a drive together. They go get the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, so we're going to play one more clip.
That is the sack you're talking about.
So we're going to play the clip of the sack. In my opinion, this is where Tennessee had a chance to either win the game,
Exactly.
Put it away.
or not.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is the play that led up to that.
Stockton with 5 on the play clock. Takes the snap. Feeling heat. Hit. Fumbles the football. And it's been recovered by the Big Orange. Joseph's had the sack. Eason has the recovery. And it's Tennessee football at the UGA 35.
Yep. I thought right then if Tennessee scores a touchdown, I think game, set, match.
Yep.
But they held them to a field goal and left that door cracked for Georgia to come back.
I said you have to hold them to 3 right here. That's the only
and
option.
they did.
That's
And
the
they
only
did.
option. You got to hold them to 3, and they got conservative, and they ran. I'm pretty sure they ran the ball 3 straight times. They kick it, and, here's the thing. I'll be honest. I have sat all summer long and listened to people get down on Gunnar Stockton. And
I've been one of them.
And say that he is this or he is that, and have said he doesn't have that dog in him, whatever you want to say. Boy went into, in my opinion, one of the most ruckus environments that I have ever been a part of. I've been to a Florida-Tennessee game that was similar, the Oklahoma-Tennessee game that was similar, but that was a ruckus environment. Boy put up 304 yards, 3 total touchdowns, and threw a absolute dime. Carson Beck would never. Carson Beck would throw that in the first quarter when it doesn't matter.
This guy must not be watching the Hurricanes this year.
No, listen, I'm talking about as a dog. Carson Beck would throw that ball like in the first quarter. He would throw it, like when you're up 40 points and don't need it. When your team needed you the most, he put an absolute dime right in front of my face. That's where I was sitting.
Is that right?
That corner where he caught that ball was right where I was sitting.
And the receiver made a tremendous catch.
Yeah.
I personally think the catch was more impressive than
Yes.
the throw itself, because he looked over his left shoulder, then he had to make an adjustment, and he relocated the ball, caught it, stayed in bounds, held on to the ball. And, of course, Georgia, that was a great play call on the 2-point conversion.
Also,
tremendous call.
Also, everybody's on my boy Bobo. Everybody talks about how bad his play calling is. He went to Neyland with a banged-up offensive line and put up 44 points. Had time of possession for 50 minutes and ran 11 new run play concepts that they had never ran in a game before.
And you talked about that last week, how they had some stuff in the back pocket
Yes.
that they've not busted out yet.
They've never ran it in a game before. They watched it off of NFL. There's one that's very similar that I think Derrick Henry, that little toss sweep with the pulling guards and everything, I think that was something they pulled out of the Ravens bag, which Where did the Ravens coordinator come from? Todd Monken, UGA. But it was a great game. Tennessee's defense is really good. I walked out of that stadium and I looked at every Tennessee fan that would look at me and talk to me. I said, y'all have got a heck of a team. And to be quite honest with you, I think you're a playoff team. Either we are not as good as we thought we were, or we're both playoff teams. It's one of the two.
Well, I mean, there again, it's so early. I mean, Alabama's still on the schedule for Tennessee. I think Tennessee is a playoff team too, but
right now,
I don't know.
Right now, with the small sample size that we have, I think so. The way they perform now, are there adjustments and things they can do to get better to walk away with a win in that game? Absolutely. And again, I want to put some emphasis on this. Gilbert's been taking a lot of heat on the socials.
Unfortunately, we knew that was going to happen.
And I get it. The guy misses a field goal wide right. That's your only job. Yada yada yada. We hear that same narrative anytime a kicker misses a field goal. But I promise you, I even looked over and told my wife the way they set up. They not only did they go super conservative the drive before that, but they did it right there. They had an opportunity to make sure they give him a chip shot of a field goal.
Middle of the field.
Exactly. Yeah. And they took their time. They were worried about timeouts. Meanwhile, the camera could see it. Gilbert's eyes were, oh, man, this is taking long. I'm ready to go. He quit kicking at one point, walked to the field thinking he's going to kick. Then he walks back over and starts kicking again because there was no flow to the lead up of his field goal. If you ever watch NFL games when it's coming down to a field goal, that kicker's locked in. He's kicking. When it's time, he jogs to the field and just in stride. It seemed like such a delayed, stressful, mismanaged mess. And I get you're trying to line up on the opposite hash. I get what they were trying to do, but it was mismanaged the way they did it. You could just feel the weight of the situation sitting on your couch at home.
Also, like the fact that Georgia walked in and had 0 false starts, but you have a false start right before the biggest moment of the game, that's unexcusable. I mean, at the end of the day, you're at home, you're managing the clock. You cannot jump off sides there. Like a mental psyche of just that 5 yards in general just changes a kicker's mindset.
If you give the ball to Deshaun Bishop 3 times in a row, that goes from being a 43-yard field goal to a 35-yard field goal.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts right now. And I'm going to say this, okay? Y'all know I'm a bigger college football fan than an NFL fan. But I'll tell you right, Saturday was a perfect example of a college rule that needs to change big time. The hash marks need to be the same width as the uprights. The NFL has been like that since the mid-'70s. College football is living in the past by having the hash marks so stupidly wide. Why are they wider than the uprights? The NFL has it smart. The hash marks are the exact same width as the uprights. And I don't understand why college football does not move the hash marks in. I've been yelling for this for 30 years in college football. I never see anything about it. I don't understand it. I just don't understand the hash marks in college football. I don't. I'll never understand it. It makes no sense. And the high school is even worse. High school is even further wider than college hash marks. Explain to me the reason. There is no good reason.
No, there's not. The only thing that I've ever liked about that, too, is the fact that you've got so much opposite field to work with offensively.
I get that.
That's the only thing
I don't like to have a ridiculously short side of the field and ridiculously long side of the field. Both sides of the field should be the same width. The NFL rules is far superior than college when it comes to the hash marks.
Just not on kickoffs. Don't get me started on NFL kickoffs.
I don't like that.
You know who I wouldn't like to be right now though? The UAB Blazers. They're about to get their tails kicked next week.
They're going to get their tails win or lose.
Volunteers are going to take out some frustration. One thing that remains constant is Tennessee's ranking at number 15 as they host UAB this upcoming Saturday up there at Neyland Stadium. Of course, we'll have that game here on Mix 104.1 on our sister station, if you will, brother station, family station. You know, we throw the different terminology out on that. And, of course, Georgia, they are off this week. Mm-hmm. It's a big-time bye week leading into that Alabama game.
Yeah, it's going to be a big game, and, you know, the big narrative around they've looked better. Alabama's looked better in the last 2 weeks, even though 2 weeks ago it was against a nobody. Last week against Wisconsin without a quarterback. The question still looms, can they run the football? They're averaging 70 yards per game. They are going to get some help returning back with their starting running back. Should be back by the time they play Georgia. That's going to be a big game down in Athens. In the same way that, Georgia's been a monkey on Tennessee's back, Alabama's been ours. So, tickets right now to that game are $537 is the cheapest seat that I could find up in the 610 section. So, it's a high price event.
And before we go to break here, we're going to send it over to our guy Jim for our Inside the SEC segment, sponsored by Southern Heritage Bank.
Okay, today's Inside the SEC segment, the Southeastern Conference, and there's only been 4 polls released thus far. 13 different schools have already been ranked in the Associated Press from the Southeastern Conference. Of course, Texas began the season number 1. You've had Texas, Georgia, Alabama, LSU, South Carolina, and Florida, both of those teams which are currently not ranked. Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Auburn, Missouri, and Vanderbilt. 13 out of the 16 teams in the Southeastern Conference have been ranked already this year. One more, and they'll tie their record that they set last year when they had 14 different teams make it into rankings at one point. So you've got 13 out of the 16 teams have been ranked in the first 4 weeks of the college football season. The only ones that have not been ranked thus far: Mississippi State, who, by the way, are sitting there 3-0. Arkansas, who's actually had a really good game against Ole Miss, they're 2-1, and Kentucky. So that's a pretty impressive stat right there. That the SEC, that's how good and how deep the league is.
Yep. So with that, again, that was your Inside the SEC segment with Dad Gum over there, sponsored by Southern Heritage Bank. With that, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, plenty more of college football to talk about, as well as some high school football from last Friday night.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
Hardees is hiring. Join the Star Team. Flexible scheduling, daily pay, free meals, 20% family discount, plus paid vacation for part-time and full-time employees. Apply in-store or online at hardees.com today.
When competition is fierce, sports injuries happen, and Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is here to help. Saturday sports clinics are available at our Chattanooga and Cleveland offices from August 23rd through November 8th for the treatment of non-emergency orthopedic injuries like sprains, strains, and fractures. Doors open at 9 a.m., no appointment needed to be seen by our highly trained physicians and clinical staff. Saturday sports clinic dates are subject to change. Check sportmed.com for the latest information. That's sportmed.com.
This is Alfonso Reviso, General Manager over at Crown in Cleveland, your local Jeep and Ram dealership.
Cleveland Tire Center for over 45 years with the best name in tires: Bridgestone, Firestone, Goodyear, and Michelin. Northley Highway, Cleveland. Cleveland Tire Center, where the name says it all. Not all composite decking is the same. Enjoy life's beautiful moments on an equally beautiful composite deck. Envision's products feature deep, non-repeating grains and distinct colors throughout each pour, offering a truly unique appearance unlike anything else on the market. Learn more and find inspiration for your project at Cleveland Plywood. Cleveland Plywood Company, 2700 20th Street Northeast in Cleveland.
You work hard, you take care of your family, you handle business, but when's the last time you took care of yourself? At Magnolia Dental Center of Cleveland, we get it. You don't need pampering. You need honest, high-quality dental care that fits your life. No lectures, no pressure. Just a team that respects your time and gets the job done right. So don't wait until it hurts. Call Magnolia Dental Center today. Take care of your smile like you take care of everything else. Call 423-476-3307 or visit magnoliadentalcenterofcleveland.com to schedule an appointment today.
When life gets busy, Little Caesars can be there to help with hot and ready pizzas and more from 4 to 8 p.m. You can't beat the taste of delicious pizza at a great price and hot and ready for dinner. 3 locations: Paul Huff, Key Street, and McGrady Drive, or order online.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Duracell in Cleveland is now hiring mechanical skilled technicians, $22 to $27 an hour. Excellent benefits beginning day one. Medical, dental, vision insurance, paid vacation, holiday pay, 401k, tuition reimbursement, and more. Apply now at Duracell.com. That's Duracell.com. And I'm trying to read this with a big old smile on my face. The conversations we have during the breaks, Andy's sitting there trying to describe something to me, and I'm completely clueless. So you'll have to fill me in next break.
Well, listen, I'm going to go ahead and talk about it on air because it is very, very much ESPN sports related. Our guy Austin Chadwick had a gender reveal, put out a video over on the Mix Facebook page. Be sure to check that out. First of all, we love Austin. And I'm not going to call him Fruit Loops like Steve does, but Austin does so much for the station here, and great guy.
Well, ever since my brother's joke, you can't do that no more.
Oh, yeah.
My brother-in-law's joke, I should say.
Yeah. And so Austin does this gender reveal video where he kicks the football and the blue chalk, the blue powder goes everywhere. He's having a boy.
Oh, good for him.
And listen, congratulations. I'm excited for him. He's going to be a great boy dad. But I wanted to talk about this for this reason. As much as I was wanting to focus on the moment, I immediately was like, I got to start stretching because it looked like Austin might have partially tore his hamstring on the kick. I was so worried about him. So much so that I put a little funny little GIF on the comment section, and Austin was sure to message me and said, I saw that. That's funny.
Here's how out of touch I am at times. Here it is, 25 after 5, and I'm just now hearing about this. I had no idea. You said they talked about it this morning. And I'm sitting here, I'm in the office, but I'm not watching the show or listening. So I have no idea about any of this until 25 after 5, and I have to get a guy that's doing the drive on ESPN to tell me what happened on Mixed Mornings, and I'm literally 25 feet away from the studios, and I had no clue until just now.
It's pretty funny. Hey, since we've been talking about some college football, I wanted to ask you guys, and you're going to have to think about this one for a second, so I can go ahead and throw mine out there, but what are the best three-way rivalries in college football? And the first one that came to mind for me, and I'm going to give you an example, is Florida State, Miami. Any three of those teams playing each other, that's a big deal. There's a lot of bad blood in those games. Another one that comes to mind, obviously one of them's kind of the little brother of the group, but Army, Navy, Air Force.
Yeah.
So what do you – and I've taken two pretty good ones.
One that came to my mind is Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State.
That's a good one.
They all don't like each other, and they usually have pretty, fun games. So that'd be the first one that come to my mind.
I'll be honest. I feel like Penn State is the Air Force in that situation.
But they are. I mean, there's always going to be. Well, the Miami, Florida State, and Florida, I think that one's equal. That's 33% all the way around.
Well, really, I'm ready to change it to Florida State, Miami, and USF. Is that right, USF?
South Florida.
You're subbing Florida. I see the shade being thrown by the Georgia fan here. He's saying take Florida out of that equation and put South Florida in their place.
Well, for 2025, maybe.
Hey, can we just talk about how everybody's missed on like these preseason Heisman stuff?
Oh my gosh!
It's not Arch Manning.
Yeah. It's not DJ Lagway.
It's not.
Oh, DJ.
Five interceptions.
And he has not learned a darn lesson in the offseason. He throws
because he hasn't been practicing.
He throws
He's been hurt.
Yeah, he throws across his body more than any quarterback ever seen. And you can't get away with that against a quality defense like LSU.
He's going to tear us up. He's going.
I mean, it's unreal.
Can I go ahead and throw one out there because so far it's early, guys. It's so early. I understand. I know it.
Talk about the Heisman,
but our guy Diego Pavia is showing up. He's backing it up, man. Listen, Vanderbilt goes into South Carolina. You're speaking of the 5 interceptions, and Vandy walks away with a 31-7 dominant win.
Yeah, Lenore Sellers is another Heisman candidate that has gone away. Of course, he got hurt. I know, but still, but he hadn't played well anyway.
Yeah, no. Diego Pavia owes Theo Vaughn a date with his mom. I don't know if you guys
I saw that.
Did you see that, Andy?
Yes, I did. That's actually really funny.
That is funny.
So I thought Sellers had more than – he only had 1 interception. That's why I was relating him to Lagway there. But
as far as other multi-team rivalries.
Klubnik, sorry, last one. Cade
Oh,
Klubnik
my
at Clemson.
Listen, we've all talked about this. This kid came into Clemson with all the hype and all this stuff, and I was like, every time I watch him, I'm like, he just looks like another quarterback. I don't see anything exceptional when I watch him, and once again, Clemson just looks pedestrian, and good for Georgia Tech to win that game. I love that. I kind of called that, and I think we all kind of sensed that was going to happen.
So for the people that on our pick'em, for some reason my personal account has like hooked with the link. So like my account's on that. It says I'm 6-4. My other one is Harbaugh's spy picks. So I'm
Harbaugh spy picks.
So
That's pretty good.
That's a good name.
I'm that's my name. It says Slim Money Mason. It says I'm 6-4. I tried for an hour and a half in Knoxville to change my picks.
And wouldn't let you?
It wouldn't let me. And I so badly I was like, it's the morning of. I'm changing my pick to Georgia Tech.
Because it's not like they have any Thursday or Friday night games, do they? On that pick 'em, do they?
No. But when I got the notification Friday night that 3 starters were out, it started rolling.
I think once first kick takes place, then
it's locked.
Yeah, it's locked.
You can change it up until that kick. Until the kick of that game, you can change it. But I was sitting down with Stephen Shelby. He said, "Keep on, restart your phone. Try to get some service." I could not get enough service to change my picks.
We mentioned Georgia Tech. They had the big win over Clemson, 24-21. And first of all, Bobby Dodd Stadium is a tough place to play now. Did you see the ruckus crowd at that game?
The whiteout they
had.
Yeah,
they showed up, and Haynes King is another guy. Can't give him
a fun quarterback.
He's
to
a
watch.
gamer, man. He wants to run you over when he runs the football, and it fires me up. And so we talked about how there were so many potential upsets over the weekend, and really the Vanderbilt and the Georgia Tech upsets stand out a lot to me. Obviously, Texas A&M stands out, going up to Notre Dame, beating my Irish, and Texas A&M catapulted into the rankings.
They did. They really catapulted up there. The one thing about Texas A&M that I have reservations, they just don't have much defense. I mean, you can just score on that team. Now, they got an exciting offensive team. They got a lot of speed. I like the quarterback, but man, their defense they're just average.
All the narratives going into this week's game were hilarious. Like everybody was like, the Notre Dame Texas A&M game is going to be a low-scoring game. These defenses are going to play out. Tennessee and Georgia is going to be a low-scoring game. Gunnar Stockton's going to struggle. Like all of this stuff, we not us. I'm not just the national media. We got it wrong. This is one of those weeks where literally we talked out the side of our neck for a whole week and nothing looked like what we thought it was going to look.
Well, I want to say I took Vandy. I took Georgia Tech.
Oh, no, I'm just talking about
I was confident.
Gameplay.
Yeah.
Like how those games were going to go.
And then what's going on with Arch Manning, guys? He just struggled.
Well, I mean,
he struggled big time against UTEP.
There's a video out there of him in high school of a guy like me chasing him. And so, he's finally getting chased by these big old D1
athletic guy.
I mean, it's just going to take some time. I think it's just going to take some.
He's been there for 3 years.
I think he's got. Yeah, but how much game time?
But yeah, logging snaps is entirely different. As a Notre Dame fan, I'm seeing it right now with C.J. Carr. It was brought up that during that game against Texas A&M, Notre Dame, Texas A&M, that on run plays, he had his feet side by side, and on pass plays, he had his feet staggered and was tipping every single play.
It's like a pitcher tipping off his pitches by the way he holds the glove or grips. You look at
So do you think after 3 weeks that's a significant enough amount of time to evaluate your team? Do you think after 3 weeks that you've got enough to know who you are yet or what you're capable of?
No, because I think teams grow. I think you can see.
I give it halfway through October.
What if you're West Virginia and Pitt looking at that game? Are you frustrated as a Pitt fan getting upset by a first-year head coach, Rich Rod, back at West Virginia?
The thing about Pitt, they had the lead for the majority of that game. They let that West Virginia come back and win that thing. I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, okay, I got another circumstance for you. What if you're UCLA or Virginia Tech and you just fired your head coach after week 3?
Yeah, and there's so many lists out there for these two open positions. We were just talking about Ed Orgeron as being, some people mentioned him for the UCLA job because he was at USC and he did a great job recruiting out there. But it's one thing to recruit at USC. It's another thing to recruit at UCLA. I mean, that's just fact.
Well, they recruited Nico. I mean, here's my thing. Vols fans, I know it's been a rough Monday. I get it. It's been a rough weekend. But I don't think you could ask for a better story than what these first 3 weeks at UCLA have been. I don't think that there's a Vol fan on this earth that woke up and said before the season started and said, you know what, they're going to lose to New Mexico and they're going to fire their coach 3 weeks into the season because their offense is so atrocious. They scored, 10 points?
10 points against New Mexico.
10 points against New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
You know who's a big sponsor here on the drive, right? Mayfield Dairy Ice Cream. And one of their all-time best, one of my favorites, are the caramel waffle cones. Right now, Nico's eating Karma waffle cones is what he's eating. That's what's going on right now.
I mean, honestly. So, like, Joey is a dude. Hey, I saw it. I saw it on Saturday. He can deliver. The one thing that I thought was impressive was even with pressure in his face, he was cool, calm, and collective and could find the open guy. You know, we tried. We tried to dial up pressure. Couldn't get it there because he got the ball out so quick. Nico, on the other hand, every snap that I've watched with UCLA, he's looked either rushed, he's looked like he doesn't know where he's going with the football, or he throws it 10 miles over somebody's head. Like, I don't know that I've seen a good play from him at UCLA yet.
I mean, I know there's been a few good plays.
Just a couple.
But I mean,
I'm just
still.
saying I haven't seen it.
I saw him throw one touchdown against New Mexico. It was he rolled out to his left, threw it against his body.
Yeah.
Perfect throw, went for a touchdown.
And they went out and got players. They went out and got guys to come with them.
Their offensive line is atrocious. They cannot protect Aguilar. I mean, not Aguilar, but Nico at all.
Maybe they could pull one of the 25 fans that show up to their games, pull one of them out to block for them.
Yeah, that was not a.
They
big
don't
crowd.
even come watch them play football. Like,
Well,
that's embarrassing to me.
They play an hour away from their campus, and why anyone would want to play? UCLA has you can't tell me there's not a plot of land on that campus where you couldn't build a 45,000 seat stadium on campus. I don't. Same thing with the University of Miami. Build yourself a smaller, more intimate stadium on campus instead of driving, an hour away from Coral Gables.
Hey, Northwestern's temporary stadium is a hit. Everyone loves it. It's right there on the river.
Have you seen the one they're building?
Yeah, it's going to be phenomenal.
No, it's not on the river. It's on the lake.
On the lake, excuse me, in Chicago. That's right, on the
Lake
lake.
Michigan.
Yeah, and it's beautiful, though. It's a great scenery, and the Northwestern fans love it.
Here's a South Florida's building a new stadium. You got Northwestern building a new stadium. Miami, UCLA, why don't they have new on-campus stadiums where you don't have to drive an hour to get to the ball game? It's crazy, man. But who am I?
Yeah, I mean, some people prioritize that stuff, and other universities don't. And honest to goodness, I genuinely, like, when I think of the DNA of a program, like, that matters to me. Like, if it's important to you, it would be on campus.
Yeah. All of their other sports are on campus. I mean, Poly Pavilion, it's a great basketball arena. They just renovated it. They have such success in all sports. Their baseball, everything is good. But the football stadium's an hour away. I mean, that just makes no sense.
So you were talking about finding people to block for you. I know this is going to be a sore subject with your boy Joe. This is a tweet I read. But it might be one of the
Talk about Joe Burrow?
Yes, this might be one of the funniest tweets I've read in a long time. It said over 100,000 obese people in America, and they can't find 5 guys to block for Joe Burrow.
I saw that. Poor guy's out for 3 months.
I know. I mean, turf toe, man. I've never had it. There was a friend of mine that had it, and he got it while playing tennis. He goes, Jim. He goes, you cannot imagine how painful my toe has been. He had to have surgery on it.
It'll eat you up.
Yeah.
No doubt. Hey, speaking of NFL, the Atlanta Falcons beat the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday Night Football 22-6. And I tell you what, how about the kicking game by Parker Romo? He was 5 for 5 from 38, 29, 33, 33, and 54.
Did you watch his interview at the end of the game?
Is it where? No, I didn't.
Okay, so they interviewed. First off, coming in, doesn't know the team.
It's where he met his teammate. That's right.
Yeah, I saw that.
He didn't know who Leonard Floyd was. Georgia guy. I just thought that was hilarious. He goes, I know Bijan.
Yeah, I know Bijan.
And then looked over, and the guy goes, Leonard.
That's pretty funny.
And it was a Go ahead.
Speaking of Bijan, he had 22 carries for 143 tough earned yards, man. Good tandem there between him and Tyler Algier, who had 76 yards and a touchdown. So
Yeah, they ran wild. Atlanta's like the run game looked really good. They got to find a way to get in the end zone. They can't stall out 5 times. Honest to goodness, I thought that was what was going to cost Georgia the game, having to settle for 3. You can't settle for 3 when you get down there.
By the way, Dallas Cowboys have got themselves a field goal kicker. My gosh, what
Can you
a leg.
imagine just sitting on your couch and saying, I think I can do this? And then
They say he kicks 70 yards in practice all the time.
he thinks he can hit a 71 to 73
awesome.
yard field goal. That's wild.
Unreal.
his hamey's in good shape. Hey, with that, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Cleveland High School head football coach Chris Brown right here on The Drive.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
Now at Hardees, 2 hand-breaded chicken tender wraps are only $5. Mix and match your favorite flavors like buttermilk ranch, honey mustard, and spicy. Endless combinations start with 2 warm tortillas, each filled with 100% white meat, juicy on the inside, crispy on the outside, hand-breaded chicken tenders. Any 2 wraps, now just $5. Hardees, goodness in the making. These items only. Price and participation may vary. Tax not included. Visit restaurant for details.
When competition is fierce, sports injuries happen, and Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is here to help. Saturday sports clinics are available at our Chattanooga and Cleveland offices from August 23rd through November 8th for the treatment of non-emergency orthopedic injuries like sprains, strains, and fractures. Doors open at 9 a.m., no appointment needed to be seen by our highly trained physicians and clinical staff. Saturday sports clinic dates are subject to change. Check sportmed.com for the latest information. That's sportmed.com.
Check your wallet. Empty? Check your bills. Overdue? Check your stress level. Maxed? Now, check into cash. Check into Cash is your one-stop money shop, and we've got everything you need. Payday loans and flex lines of credit options? Check. Quick in-store services like money orders and wire transfers? Check. Turn your unused gift cards into cash? Oh yeah, check. And yes, we cash checks. All kinds. Fast. Check that off your list. Visit checkintocash.com or check into a store to get started. The process is simple, quick, and designed to get you the help you need fast. If you've been approved, you can leave with cash in hand. We have locations in the Chattanooga area, including Cleveland and Athens. Check in, cash out, and get on with life. Check into Cash. We fund today to make a better tomorrow. Subject to state regulations, eligibility, credit check, underwriting, and approval. Rates, restrictions, and fees apply. Visit a store for details. ESPN Cleveland 101.3 is powered by Duracell.
It's our annual September sell down at Honda Cleveland, and it starts with finance rates as low as 0.99% for 60 months on Ridgeline pickups, and lease payments as low as $269 on Accord. Thinking about fall adventures? Honda Cleveland has the Honda to take you there. Paddle boards and kayaks look just right on our 26 Honda HR-V compact SUV, and at $279 a month, you can probably spring for some more camping gear. And speaking of camping, load up the dogs, the kids, and their buddies and take the road less traveled in our 2026 Honda CR-V Hybrid for $379 a month. HR-V 39-month lease with $34.99 down. CR-V 36-month lease with $36.99 down. No security deposit plus tax, tag, title, and fees with approved credit. Offer ends 9/30/25. Or if you need service, parts, or tires, Honda Cleveland lets you pay over time with up to 3 months interest-free. Come on in. Honda Cleveland, your car, your way, every day. I-75 exit 20, 1 mile east. Hope to see you soon.
Do your legs feel heavy, tired, or achy? Dr. James Gooden at Milligan Vein offers an office treatment that can make you look and feel better, and your procedure is covered by most insurance. Visit milliganvein.com or call Dr. Gooden today at 423-961-5682.
The absolute best deals are located at Deal Days. Everything in the store, $7 on Saturday and Sunday, $5 on Monday, $3 on Tuesday, and just $1 on Wednesday. Located next to Planet Fitness on APD 40. Other locations are in Chatsworth, Calhoun, and Cartersville. That's Deal Day.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
When it comes to Mayfield Dairy Ice Cream, you'll never have a boring bite. Their limited edition ice creams include cherry chocolate chip and banana pudding. They're inspired by traditional Southern recipes and seasonal favorites. Pick some up today at your local grocery store and visit them online at mayfielddairy.com.
And we are happy to be joined by the head coach of the Cleveland Blue Raiders, Coach Chris Brown. Coach Brown, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, guys. How are you all?
Terrific. Hey, how did practice go this afternoon?
Okay, I'm sorry, guys. What was that?
I said, how's practice been?
They had a good day today, good response day, and we're excited to get this JV game started in about 16 minutes.
Well, fantastic. So tell us a little bit about what happened on Friday night. We know you went up against a juggernaut, but tell us what your overall thoughts were about the way your team performed.
I mean, one thing that we all know about Maryville High School and the program over the last 30, 40 years is they're not going to make mistakes. So when you play a team like that, you have to be clean and you have to be able to execute, and you can't allow for any room or wiggle early, especially, and that's exactly what happened. So when you give a team like that early opportunities to attack us and really put us behind the sticks, down on the scoreboard, they're going to, and it just kind of snowballed away from us early. But I will say, our young men got themselves in a situation where they had a choice now. They could lay down and roll over and allow Maryville to do whatever they wanted for the next 3 quarters, or they could fight and respond and try to keep our dignity, and that's exactly what they did. So that piece of it I'm proud of.
Coach, if you could let our listeners know, it sounds like our guy Emilio Green had a pretty big play.
No, he had several big plays, actually. He made some plays on offense and defense. He a couple big catches that were contested, and then the things that people don't see. He's always downfield blocking for other receivers. He's near 100% on his alignment, and he plays one of the most difficult positions that we have on our defense, too, that star linebacker, where he was able to make a great read and break and get himself a pick six. So he had a tremendous game, senior year.
Coach, after watching tape, what position group or player stuck out that showed a lot of effort and a lot of resilience on Friday night?
Oh, man, we mentioned Emilio, and I thought, we have a young defensive lineman, sophomore Dax Evans, who has a relentless motor, and he continues to flash. And really, that's something that we're really excited about, and we feel like we can build on this year and beyond. And then we just, we have guys that are settling into newer positions to them that I feel like are going to be really good for them. But, at times they played it exactly how it's supposed to be. And then at times it looked like, well, you know what, they've only been repping it 2 weeks. And if you meet them on that curve, then you can't be disappointed in a few of them.
Coach, we all know, nobody wants to lose. Everyone strives to win football games. But attitude is a big part of sports. How is the attitude with your team right now?
It's an odd, it's an unfamiliar territory. We have a lot of numbers, but we're so young. And even the older guys that we do have are very green and inexperienced in actually playing on the field on Friday night. So we still have that exuberance, that young enthusiasm that comes with football, especially for 15 and 16-year-olds. But we know that we're facing a monster. No one likes to be winless, and the grueling toll of the sport of football is always large, but it's especially large when you haven't tasted the thrill of victory. So, I'm encouraged by our response today, but we have to be realistic. This is where we are right now, and our job is to focus on getting better at whatever we can each and every day, every period.
Coach, you guys have another tough game this Friday against Oak Ridge. What can you tell us about Oak Ridge?
They have some really explosive and talented recruited skill players. They got a really good defensive lineman as well. They are, they're well coached. Coach Rang does a great job. They're new to 6A in the region, so there's a learning curve for them too. But again, another talented, well coached team that we're excited to stack up against.
Coach, the last thing I've got for you today is, how did your daughter's soccer game go Saturday?
She did well. It was a double heater, and then usually hot September Saturday morning.
It was.
She didn't wilt. We didn't have to promise her ice cream until the last 10 minutes of the second doubleheader. So I call that a major win.
That's awesome. Well, let her know that her fans here at the Drive said congratulations on a good performance.
Well, that's outstanding. I appreciate that, guys. She'll love that.
Awesome, Coach. Well, hey, appreciate you calling in and chatting with us, and look forward to talking to you guys next week.
Awesome. Thank you for all you do, guys. We appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Chris Brown, head coach of the Cleveland Blue Raider football squad over there. Listen, you got a tough schedule, man.
Oh, my gosh.
Just as we're sitting here talking, I'm looking at this, and you've already played a good Walker Valley team, a good McMinn County team, which they gave them every bit they wanted. Tullahoma, Maryville, now Oak Ridge, Tyner, Bradley. This is honestly one of the most insane schedules. And to the timing of it for Cleveland is horrible because, listen, Coach Brown's not going to say this. It's a rebuilding year. It's a regrouping year for them as a football program. And you've probably got one of the absolute toughest schedules in the state.
Yeah, I'm going to be real. And not to like rub in Cleveland's fans' faces, if you got all those kids that have gone elsewhere,
and we've talked about it,
it looks a little different.
There's no doubt.
And unfortunately, that's where your feet are, and that's something that I've been trying to get better at is be where my feet are and stay focused on that. And where your feet are right now is that you got to get better every day, and you got to go out there and compete. And I love interviewing Coach Brown on Mondays because it seems like every Monday they come around and they say, like, hey, like it was a tough game Friday night, but we're ready to go back at it. Yeah, that's what you got to do.
He's teaching those young men resiliency and consistency because you got to show up, as you said, Jacob, show up the next week, put your work in, put the time in. And listen, there's a couple games down the road here that I'm looking at, and even though it's a tough schedule, I'm saying, okay, wait a minute.
They've got a shot.
That Cleveland team that played McMinn a couple weeks ago, if that team shows up, that Cleveland team that's fighting every single week, if they show up in a couple of these games, maybe a big rivalry game they make a little more interesting than you would think. They take it a little bit more personally because of some of the stuff Jacob mentioned.
As we look at the schedule and we're looking at Cleveland versus some really good teams, it wasn't that long ago when Cleveland was the team that people feared. And that can happen again. There's so many athletes that walk the halls at Cleveland High School every year, and a lot of those kids have transferred to elsewhere. But I'm telling you, I have a sneaky suspicion that this time next year we'll be talking about, Cleveland's got that kid that transferred from here. Boy, if that team had them, they'd be doing better. Cleveland's going to be fine.
And they've got a freshman class over there.
This year, they're just taking their lumps. 2026, watch out for the Raiders.
Yeah, they've got a freshman class of kids, too, that, listen, they know winning. That's what they know. Yeah. Give those kids a couple years of maturity, and they're right back in the mix.
Well, and think about the maturity that these kids – like he talked about Evans, the sophomore defensive lineman. Like, think about what he's going to be like this time next year. Think about the reps that he's getting now, what he's going to be like on the D-line next year in 6A football. So, it's a building year, it's a learning year, but I can tell you from a coaching perspective, the year that we took our lumps with a bunch of young guys, the next year we went out and made a run. We made a big run. And so I know it's a tough one right now, Raiders fans, but just stick in there, keep supporting those boys,
support the kids,
keep on going out there on Friday nights and cheering louder than you've ever cheered.
Yeah, once again, all of our high school football coverage is presented by Food City here on the Drive. To recap, last Friday night, Bradley went up to Farragut and beat the Admirals 24-10. Cleveland had that tough game over there at Benny Monroe Stadium against a very talented Maryville team, losing that game 44-7. And Walker Valley hosted Chattanooga Central, winning that game 49-0 against a 3A school that had 8 starters out. Obviously, Chattanooga Central came up in survival mode in that game, and Walker Valley did what they were supposed to do. But, man, I tell you what, Bradley continuing to roll, big region win for them. And I'm not trying to talk something into existence here. I think there's going to be a game coming up. I believe it's week 7. Yeah, week 7 between the Blue Raiders and the Bears. This is going to be a little bit closer than people think. And I'm not throwing – that's no shade on Bradley at all. Bradley's tough. But I'm telling you, you take games like that personal when you're an athlete. Yeah. And we saw last year, Bradley wasn't supposed to be in that game with Cleveland last year.
All right. I'm going to change the subject a little bit. I want to talk about the head coaching position at the University of Florida. Billy Napier, how hot is that seat?
Well, I mean, if you're
and it's going to get hotter if they lose to Miami.
If you're Scott Strickland, it doesn't seem like it's hot. But to me, from everything that I've read, heard, researched, he promised that he would go out and get an offense coordinator. He didn't. And where are their woes?
Oh my gosh, their offense is anemic.
Well, and here's the thing: like to be a good head coach, you can't, in my opinion, you can't be so focused on calling plays that your head isn't in the entire football game.
Right. They've got a good defense. I'll tell you right now, Florida's got a good defense.
They held LSU to 20 points.
But they're on the field the whole day.
Yeah.
They can't get any rest. They're always on the field because the offense is so they turn the ball over so much. But, man, I'm telling you, I was shocked watching DJ Lagway, and I'm sitting there going, people were hyping this kid up to be a Heisman candidate. He is lucky he's even the starting quarterback right now.
Something Josh Pate said is, like, from the outside looking in, if you look at Florida, how they're ran, how the practices go, how philosophy is, like, they look like all the big boys. But then they go out there on Saturdays, and they're not the big boys.
No.
And so, to me, that has to be an in-game coaching philosophy problem.
No adjustments made.
And to me, it's because you're so focused on calling plays that you can't be the head coach. You have to be able to be the head coach and go over.
You've got to facilitate when you're the head coach.
Like the fact that Kirby Smart got to go over to the iPad and look at stuff with Gunnar Stockton while the defense was going on when he's a defensive-minded head coach. Like, you have to have a guy that you trust that if I walk away for a minute and I focus on the facet of the game that we've got to fix, that it's going to run smoothly. He can't do that because he is constantly thinking about the offense. And I'm sorry, they're going to be terrible. I'm for it. Keep on signing the man. As a Georgia fan, keep it up. They'll win a few games that they're not supposed to. They'll find a way. He'll find a way to stick around. But I'm with you. That seat should be hot, but it seems like Scott Strickland's putting ice packs on.
I want you to listen to this. Billy Napier at Florida is 5-19 against ranked opponents. 5-19. Yeah, how does he still have a job today?
I don't know.
Is beyond me. They are so.
You fired Dan Mullen at 31-9, but you're keeping a coach that's 20-21.
Yeah, he's under 500 now.
And can't beat the teams that, like, Florida is used to beating.
All you got to do is just go 500 against your ranked opponents. You don't. No one's expecting you to go 30 and 10 against ranked opponents. If you go 15-15 or you're right around 500 against ranked opponents, you can live with that.
This is going to drive you guys crazy. But obviously, Florida's next game this week against Miami, that's college game day. That's going to be tough. That's a tough game against this is a quality Miami team, I truly believe. The following week, Florida plays Texas. That's a game that could literally save his job if he beats Texas.
Listen, I'm going to say this. Does Florida have the athletes to beat Miami and Texas? Yes, they do. They've got the athletes to do it. But I don't think they got the coaching. That's the thing that's got to change. They've got talented guys on that roster. There's absolutely no question about it. They're full of 4- and 5-star guys, but more they're playing like 2- and 3-star guys. They're just not playing well.
So, hey, tonight, double coverage, NFL football. We've got both Monday night games here on the station. Super excited to carry both of those.
Yeah, once again, that's Tampa Bay at Houston. That game's at 7 p.m. And then the Los Angeles Chargers at Slim Money Mason's Vegas Raiders. That game's at 10 p.m. Good luck staying up for that one, Mason.
I know. I'm over here drinking caffeine right now, so I can.
There you go. Hey, guys, good Monday show. Glad to be back at it this week. Honestly, we could go for a 2-hour slot talking all this college football and stuff. But with that, we're going to send it to commercial break. We appreciate you guys tuning in with us here at the beginning of the week. Tomorrow, same time, same place, right here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Have a great day, everybody.
Go Dogs.
It's time for a Don Ledford of Cleveland traffic update on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Don Ledford Chevrolet Buick GMC, located on North Lee Highway in Cleveland. Or visit donledford.com for details. Don Ledford, where we say yes. It's on-time traffic with Commander Chuck.
Good afternoon. It's got a heavy 153 northbound across the dam. All that traffic pushing back up towards Hickson, especially this time of the afternoon. It's crowded out here. 24 moving for the most part here out through the Ridgecott. A little bit of radar earlier. 24 out through certain parts of Marion County. Watch your speed out there on 24 just past the Jasper exit. Happy Hemp Pharmacy now open at their new location. They're on Cummings Highway in Lookout Valley, right next to Walmart. Happy Hemp